I managed to put my hand on a piece of cork oak, and it's got such a beautiful features on the outside, on his bark, that I tried to do a ball or a plate, but keeping those features, not losing them. So I submerged this piece of oak in resin, put it in a pressure pot for 48 hours, and decided I will try to keep as much as possible the feature on the outside. I usually don't use center screw to hold it, and I decided on this one. I don't know why. It wasn't a clever thing, because the cork oak is so soft in the middle that it actually wobbled a little bit on me. So I had to remove it twice and put it back and turn it around and put it back, and have on one side have a create a tenant, no, not a tenant, a recess. So I had to do a recess on one side, work a little bit the other side, and make a recess on the other side. This one took a little bit longer than what I expected to happen. But I think what I'm trying to do is I'll try to work the ball on the outside first, and then I'll try to work it on the inside, and try to keep the features of this beautiful wood, especially the outside. So if you look at that, you will be able to see the bark of the outside. Decided to make my life a little bit easier and drill the hole, so it will be easier to hollow it, but it's also a way to hold it so I can do the outside. I'm using long jaws, so it will hold inside, and I'll start creating the shape and of the ball. I wasn't aware. I actually, be very honest with you, it's my first time that I'm working on cork oak. I never worked on cork oak before. They told me at my club that it's quite soft and it's quite porous, and it's got a lot of holes and a lot of what you calling it, softness. So I will have to find a solution for all of that. And here you can see how soft it is, and it's got a lot of slots and pinholes, and it's very, 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 very soft. And I had to work very slowly, very carefully. I didn't want to have a dig in, because I was afraid that if I'll dig in and I'll have a catch, it will break into pieces. So I'm trying to create the shape without putting a lot of pressure. And if you look at the end of it, you will see that it's very, 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 very soft. And I'll have to find a solution for that. I changed a few times my idea of the final shape, because I wanted to have a little bit of a rim, so you will be able to see the feature that's left from the bark, because I want the whole bark to stay together. And now I'm using the same system I use on some other project of mine. I'm using gel. It's epoxy gel, and I'm mixing it with a lot of pure copper resin, but it's a very fine copper powder, and it's a mixture of 1:1. And now I'll let it overnight turn slowly, so it will not drip onto one side. And now I'll have to start removing the gel, but I had to be very careful so not to move a lot from the oak, because if I lose a lot of the oak, then I lost the reinforcement that I actually created by putting this this gel on. And that's why I needed to to be very careful. Now what I'm doing is, it's actually, I'm not starting to, I started just to see if there is enough reinforcement before I continue with removing it. That's why I use the sandpaper a little bit. And now if you start having a look at it, maybe you'll see it later, but you can see that all the slots and all the pinholes are full with resin and with copper. And I will show you a little bit later, if you stick around, and I'll show you the places where the light shines over, and you can see the copper and the marks that and the shining of the copper inside. And every hole, every pinhole, and every slot, there is resin and copper inside. After I finished with sandpaper, with the sandpaper, I'm putting Yorkshire grit, and after Yorkshire grit, this time I'm going to go out of my normal. But have a look at it. You can start seeing already the copper. Here you can see every time I turn and there is light, you can see the pins where the copper is full, full with copper. And you can see on the left side, you can see already marks of in the rim of the resin. You can see the bark that I managed to keep alive. This time I'm using Hampshire shin, the original Hampshire shin. You can see at the bottom also, inside those white lines, actually the brown dark lines, those are copper lines, and it comes out beautiful. And if you put it in the sun, you will see it shine unbelievable. I'm finishing with Hampshire shin, and it came out very, very, very nice. Now, yeah, you can see here the lines with the copper. Turning it around, and I'm starting to do the inside. Now I'm a little bit worried of the inside because I'm afraid of a catch. Because if I'll get a catch, the whole thing is gone. So I won't go too thin on this project. I'm going to leave a little bit of meat of the wood, so I don't have to worried about breaking it into pieces. And the other thing I decided to do is not to do, actually, is not to go to the outside rim and square it, because I wanted it to be the same shape that it got because of the bark of the wood. And now the last final, I'm going to, in a slight angle, increase a little bit the speed, so I'll have a nice fine, as much as possible fine work before I do the next step. The next step is exactly the same. Copper powder, very fine copper powder mixed with gel, with epoxy gel, and let it dry overnight on a very slow motor. And the next day, the same thing. I will start removing the gel away, the resin away, and very carefully not to remove also from the wood too much, as much as possible, just all the way where I reach to the wood and then stop. I have to be very careful here, otherwise I go too deep and then I have to redo the whole thing once again, because I also took out all the copper and the resin from the holes and everywhere. The same procedure, sandpaper all the way to 400, in between with alcohol to clean it up, and then Yorkshire grid. You can start seeing already the different, and as it will stop, you can start seeing the copper shine through, and you can see how beautiful it is, this cork grain. Really, really, really nice. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the very fine Yorkshire grit. I think it's called Yorkshire grit 2000 or something like that. It's the microfine Yorkshire grit, because I want to put a little bit on the rim where is the resin, and get the resin to be see-through, so you'll be able to see the features of the bark of this beautiful wood. Final polish, hamshun, and it will bring it up all together. Look how beautiful it is. It's time to display my logo, and to show you on the other side, when you turn it around, how nice this bark looks like. And if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my channel, and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to make a comment. And cheers, and I'll see you in my next video.